Hello everyone, I've done a bunch of testing on the Sl100 pre and post dupe and there's a lot to talk about. In short, the whole thing is a lot more consistent than you would think, as long as you do the post dupe well. Let's quickly go over what Sl100 with money back duping looks like. You go to this sign and do a setup to duplicate the money back a bunch of times. I think the ideal setup is going for 4 money bags. You want them to be in the same position. This is slightly RNG, but you have a decent chance of getting all 4 in the same position. Now you get the shell and get the first 5 reds. Now you do the second dupe or post dupe. This turns out to be very dependent on your circling position. With the right position, you can get pretty consistent dupes with a very low chance of crashing. So let's look into the statistics. First of all, I considered 2 types of post dupe movement. A lazy turn where you just turn right at a certain point after going straight, and a flick type movement where you do a little left tap first. Here you can see a chart of what these look like from above. Here you can see the outcome of 12 seconds of post duping with a lazy turn, starting with 4 money bags for a large field of initial positions. Each number is the average number of coins after 12 seconds, averaged over 1000 RNG seeds. As you can see, there are definitely better and worse positions. Here are the same chart for 3, 2 and 1 initial money bags as well. Here we see the same type of charts, but for the lazy turn. If you compare them side by side, it seems like you get slightly better average results from the flick strategy. Another thing to consider is the probability of crashing. Now there are 2 types of crashes here. The polygon crash, which is caused by too many money bags on screen, and the object crash, which is caused by having too many objects. I don't have an N64, but I made the very conservative estimate that the polygon crash would happen with 20 money bags in existence. The object crash works the same in emulation as on N64. Here is a chart showing the probability of crashing for different starting positions after 20 seconds of duping, for the flick strategy and the lazy turn. As you can see, the chance of crashing is highly dependent on the initial positions, but it isn't very precise. If we look at some example runs, we can clearly see why these crashes occur. You are duping the money bags, but you aren't in the right position to kill them, so they pile up and at a certain point you crash from too many money bags on screen. Here you can see a chart of ideal flick and lazy turn positions, as well as likely crash positions. Now we want to look at how consistent these strats are for different starting positions. Here you can see a graph of the probable outcomes of the post dupe over time for a small region of ideal circling positions and different amounts of starting money bags. Having 85 plus coins is counted as finishing the pre-dupe. As you can see, with the right starting position you have a very good chance of getting the dupe to work in a reasonable amount of time. Also, clearly having more money bags to start with is better, both for speed and for consistency. Also, the chance of crashing or losing your shell is very low with the right circling position. Here you can see what these ideal duping positions look like, for the flick turn and for the lazy turn. Surprisingly, they are a bit further away from the money bag than you would at first expect. I think this is because I selected the region for consistency as well. If you immediately start killing the money bags, it may be faster at first, but there's also a greater chance of running out of money bags to dupe. So far we have looked at predetermined amounts of pre-duped money bags, but of course in reality this will be RNG as well. If we take this into account, we can look at the overall outcome of the post-dupe for a 4x type pre-dupe attempt. As you can see, the odds are still quite good. The odds of losing your shell have increased a bit, but this is due to one of the original money bags wandering forward into your intended circling position. Here is a chart of full run chances of getting 85 plus coins for varying starting positions. As you can see, it's kind of precise but not super precise. It remains to be seen just how much of a feel you can get for this second dupe. So in conclusion, with a 4x style pre-dupe and a good position for the post dupe, you can have a really good chance of finishing Sl100 with a better time than the normal strat. So at this point it's up to runners to see how consistent they can get with it. Thanks to my patrons for supporting my SM64 research. John W, Neon Fuzz, Widit, Deca, Runner Cam, Dan Park, and Badronis.